In this video, we're going to relearn how to solve a systems of equations. That's a linear equation and a quadratic equation. Before we begin, make sure that your copy has a corrected typo. Make sure that there is a negative on that 3. There was a little typo when I typed it up. All right, so we know we've got a linear and a quadratic when I have one equation that has no exponents. That's our linear equation. And then my quadratic equation is one that has an exponent of a squared or a 2. I'm always going to go for my linear equation. I'm going to look and see if I can find a coefficient of 1. I'm noticing I have a coefficient of 1 on the y. So I am going to solve that for y. That means I need to take my x and move it to the other side. I'm going to do that for this one by addition. So y equals 5x minus 3. I am now going to take this 5x minus 3, and since that's what y equals, I'm going to substitute it into my quadratic equation for y. So we get x squared minus 3x plus 2 times parentheses minus 12 equals 0. We're going to substitute this 5x minus 3n. Next thing is I'm going to follow my instincts, and I'm going to go ahead and distribute that 2. So I'm dropping down the x squared. I'm dropping the 3x. 2 times 5x is 10x, and 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. And then drop the minus 12 and the equal 0. Now we're going to combine like terms. So I only have the 1x squared. I'm just going to write that down. Negative 3x and positive 10x is positive 7x. And then negative 6 and negative 12 would be negative 18 equals 0. Now I've got it down to a quadratic. My quadratic's equal to 0. If for some reason it wasn't equal to 0 here, I would want to get it equal to 0. Now I am going to start by trying a magic x. So I need two numbers that multiply to 18 and add to 7. So I'm going to try 9 and negative 2. As 9 times negative 2 is negative 18, and 9 plus negative 2 is 7. So I'm going to write that as a product of factors as x plus 9 times x minus 2 equals 0. I'm going to do the zero product property to split those up and set them equal to 0. I'm going to subtract my 9 to the other side. I'm going to add my 2 to the other side. Now I've got my x's, but I had to solve a system, which means I also need to get my y's. So I'm going to use this equation right here to solve for my y. So I'm going to start by plugging in a negative 9. So y equals 5 times negative 9 minus 3. 5 times negative 9 is negative 45. Minus 3 is going to be negative 48. So I know one of my coordinates for my solution is negative 9, negative 48. I'm going to do the same thing for my y x equals 2. Get y equals 5 times 2 minus 3. 5 times 2 is 10. 10 minus 3 is 7. So my other coordinate is 2, 7.